Good morning, YouTube. As always, hopefully you are all good and doing well. Today is the 4th of May, Monday the 4th of May, 2026. And let's start the video with a little bit of a monster review. Not too much noise to it. And tastes the exact same as always. Absolutely gorgeous. Pink has now become my favourite at the moment. I've realised that obviously people have like a cult-like following with certain monsters, like people just obsess over like the white one, for example. But I've realised that I actually change what I like in terms of sometimes green will be by far my favourite, sometimes pink, sometimes white, but it interchanges. Anyway, the purpose of this video this week is I'm going to take you through a full week of cutting. Starting this morning, I woke up this morning and I was actually 69.2 kilos, so 0.2 kilos up from where I was yesterday, despite the food being dropped back down after my refeed that I had on Saturday. And then this is also how I was looking this morning as well. As mentioned, I'm pretty much at a spot that I'm like almost the lightest I've ever been as an adult man. But I am changing my approach slightly. I am getting more specific with my calories and my macros. My calories are staying the exact same, but previously all I was focusing on was my protein. And now I'm actually going to be actively setting specific targets for my carbs and my fats. So it's 180 grams of protein a day on training days, well, on most days even, and 200 grams of carbs and 54 grams of fat, regardless of if I'm training or if I'm not training. And then because on Friday I'm going for a date with Erin, I've actually got that as a bit of a refeed day within there. Plan of action is to basically try not to utilize all the calories that I'm going to be having. Sort of think ahead, obviously I'll show you through that when it gets to it, but that is the plan of action. This morning I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to train push, which is one of my favorite sessions of the whole entire week. I'm going to have a look with a little bit of a pump. I'm going to have a look at how I'm looking in the posing room, and then I'm probably going to pick this back up tomorrow, as I say, because I'm going to show you through my whole week exactly what I'm doing, and just almost use this as a bit of a diary, I suppose, in some ways. Jesus Christ. That would not have been a good start to the day. Good morning, guys. It is about 5:15 on Tuesday morning now, and I am both extremely tired and also quite happy as well, even though obviously I don't sound it because I'm knackered. Went to bed at 9 p.m. last night, so I missed the second half of the football. At that time, Man City looked like they were going to absolutely steamroll Everton, and they've actually ended up dropping 2 points. So Arsenal are now back in control of the title race. What a day. I think it could be us winning the league now. They've got tougher fixtures. They've got Bournemouth away, where I think they'll drop points. Now, you may be sort of thinking, why on earth am I up sort of so early? I don't start work until 8:30. I'm obviously going to be in the office today because yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday. But the reason that I'm getting up so early at the moment is because I am going to go to the gym after this. I'm just making up my breakfast, and I'm going to go straight to the gym for my pool session. And at the moment I try and aim for my actual sessions to be around sort of like an hour long, in terms of like the sort of like resistance training and weight side of things, because that typically gives me at least say like 30 to 40 minutes on the treadmill so that I can get like 4,000 to 5,000 steps done. Because where I work in the office, I literally do so few steps through the day, like it's actually a joke. The only time I'll do steps, I get a 30-minute lunch break and I'll go for a 30-minute walk around where I sort of work. And typically I find that that sort of leaves me at the end of the day around sort of like 8,000 to 9,000 steps, so I can go for sort of a small walk in the evening. With the evening, I basically want to be sort of like a bit more chilled out, have most of my activity done for the day, and then also I do like this sort of work, so edit my content, do any sort of client replies, anything client related that needs doing on the day. But mostly like Monday through to Friday, it tends to be sort of like content work and business work. And I always find that like the first night of sort of getting back into waking up, so like when it's like say Sunday evening into Monday, or Monday evening yesterday into today, I always find it quite tough. Like my quality of sleep certainly isn't the best. I wake up quite a few times in the night just thinking stupid shit like, is my alarm going to go off, even though I know that it is? And like I can't properly relax in sleep, so that's why I feel quite tired this morning. But I'm just going to make up my breakfast and then go to the gym as I said, and then I will catch you when I catch you next. Guys, it is now the next day, so it is Wednesday morning this morning. Arsenal played in the Champions League last night, and we are now through to the Champions League final, which I'm obviously very, very happy about. I don't know who I'd rather face out of PSG and Bayern. I know that we've already played Bayern this season and beaten them, but I actually think that they're probably the more complete team, and I think that we would be able to... I think either way, it's obviously going to be tough. I do think that we've been the best team in Europe this year. But through the day yesterday was just a pretty typical day of sort of being in the office with like everything that I was eating, getting and doing my steps. But today is actually a bit of a different day from normal. I'm going to go and train legs now, but I've actually woken up an hour later than normal because of the fact that I actually am not in the office today. I'm going for like this open day at this place in Swindon, so it's less of a commute than I would normally have to commute to work, and it's also an hour later starting, so I have just started my day an hour later basically. I don't really know exactly what it entails. I asked my workmates, because they've all done it before, like if it's any good, and they told me that it's basically a bit of a waste of a day, but it gets me out of the office, it gets me doing something different, so we'll see what it's like. Well, that was one of the worst leg sessions or sessions that I've had in a long, long time. Probably the worst session that I've had this whole time I've been on a cut. I tried as hard as I could, but I was just so weak on everything. Like, pretty much everything was down from the previous week, and I would get to a point that, like, say I would get to the point where things started to get difficult, and then it would just like drop off a cliff and I just could not do any more reps. But it's currently about 8:15 and I'm going to give myself about 15 minutes on the treadmill to try and get some steps done. I'm not sure what time I'm actually meant to be at this place today. It's either 9 o'clock or 9:30, and I'm not 100% sure, and I can't check, which is really annoying. Because obviously if it was 9:30, I'd be able to do like 45 minutes of steps on here and get tons done, but I don't want to risk it. I've got my food with me, which is like my normal food for the week, so like my overnight oats, and I've got my chicken mince as well, but I haven't got salad to have with my chicken mince. And I'm also not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to eat to see the same sort of structure like I normally would. So what I'm going to do, my plan is that I am going to go to Tesco on the way to where I need to go to get a protein shake, just to sort of have something for the time being in case I'm not going to eat for ages. And then I'm also going to get some salad as well, and then I'll drive there. Probably get there ridiculously early if I don't have to be there till 9:30. And then I would have missed out on some prime stepping time. Good evening, guys. Hopefully you're all good. I had my open day. I actually finished at 3:30, which was a bit of a result. I was happy about that. But the actual day itself was quite long-winded and wasn't the most productive use of my time in the whole wide world, but got to do a little bit of networking, I suppose, and meet some new people. So networking in like the whole world of like LinkedIn is completely new to me. Something that I never thought I would be doing, but I obviously am now. Anyway, this evening I have gone and dropped Erin off because she is off to Heathrow. We're going to be seeing her in a couple of days' time, graduating from British Airways, so I'm going to go and see her on Friday, and I've meal prepped as well, and now I'm currently out getting the very last of my steps done for the day. My steps have been very, very low. It's currently about like 8:30 and I just want to watch the Champions League game, to be honest. But this is where it is incredibly, incredibly important to make sure that you are holding yourself to a certain standard. It's very easy when your steps are set to like a certain level to be like, you know what, I've done 9k today, let's say, which I have, and my target's 11k. I'll just let myself off to the 2k and I'll do it like another day. In terms of say like calorie burning, technically like makes sense, but the main thing really is that like with this, you should hold yourself to a certain standard. And it's not just like, for me, the steps represent more than just the steps. Like, it bleeds into literally like every single area. This is something that I drill into clients like all the time. Like, if you're letting yourself off this, which is just such a small thing and like a small amount of effort to make, it bleeds into like every area of your life. And through simply not accepting that, it also bleeds into every area of your life and improves it significantly. Like, I know it sounds like such a sort of minor thing to stress about, but it genuinely does. And you need to hold yourself to a high standard. Like, no one else is really there to obviously, like, if I didn't go and do these 2K steps now, no one's going to literally know, but you need to be like your own biggest critic in many ways. But I'm going to continue getting them done, and then I'll probably see you tomorrow morning when I'm doing even more before starting work, because tomorrow is a rest day. Good morning. As promised, I am out for more steps. It is currently like 6:30 in the morning on Thursday, so today is a rest day. I literally love rest days because I get a bit more of a lie-in than normal. But I've woken up this morning and I was like 69.15 kilos. Yesterday was my first morning of being into the 68 kilo mark, and again, I think that's now the lightest I've been as a man, because I think when I did my photo shoot last time I was 69 kilos. It is now Friday and I'm sorting out my breakfast. As you can see, the same breakfast that I've had all week. I don't know how, but I just can be very, very, very robotic with my nutrition. Yesterday, I was actually talking to you whilst I was out and about how I'm like at a tough stage of dieting, in terms of steps are really high, food's quite low, fatigue's quite high, training doesn't necessarily feel the most fun in the whole wide world, and the importance for accuracy at this point in time with the diet as well. However, unfortunately, my mic was making a really like annoying crackling noise. But like I was saying, I am currently at a point where weight is being quite stubborn. I'm also at a point that it's very, very important to be as accurate as possible with everything that you're doing, from literally every single variable. You need to try and control it as much as possible, because what you need to keep in mind is that you need to be expending the same sort of amount of calories on a daily basis. You need to be eating the same sort of calories on a daily basis, so you can really monitor how much of a deficit you're actually in, how much weight loss you're actually seeing, how much like fat loss you're actually seeing, and then obviously you can make changes from there. And even small things like missing out, say like reps and sets when you're in the gym, doing a few less steps because you can't be asked, like I've previously explained, and then because you're hungrier, potentially like having a few snacks here and there, or having a few different mouthfuls of food and stuff like that because you are a bit hungrier. All of those do make a difference. But yesterday also just consisted, it was a day of just like ticking the boxes on a diet, in terms of I got my steps done, went to work, like ate as I should have, and did everything that I needed to do. And I think that one thing is people are always looking for sort of like a hack within dieting, or what's going to help me see more progress, or how can I get there quicker and quicker and quicker. And I think the reality is, the sooner you sort of accept that really with dieting and with gaining muscle, the basics and just doing the basics very well to a good standard for a long period of time will get you to where you want to be. Like, I always used to look for hacks and everything like that, but it is just a case of each day doing the best that you can to do the things that you need to do. So obviously, as I say, getting your steps done, sticking to your diet, training nice and hard, and doing that for a prolonged period of time, like weeks and weeks on end, months on end, will get you to where you want to be. And yesterday, as I say, was just one of those days of ticking the boxes, doing what needed to be done. Nothing overly exciting to report upon, really. So, as mentioned earlier on in the vlog, today is actually a bit of a different Friday from normal, because I'm actually not working. This is my first day of annual leave. Now, my friends are going to think that I'm an op because it's Friday the 8th of May. They're off to Spain. I think they're off to Malaga. And originally I was going to go with them, but I couldn't get Monday off as well. And I could only just recently get this Friday off because of what I've got on. So today I am going to be going to Heathrow for Erin's Wings Day, which is basically her celebrating passing British Airways cabin crew course. I can't really describe it too well, but she is now, or she is going to be, like a qualified cabin crew member for British Airways, which is really exciting. Very proud of her. I'm looking forward to seeing her later, but I'm sure that she is going to be a little bit sore-headed because she messaged me yesterday about how drunk she was, and I think they were all out celebrating last night. So I'm hoping that she will be somewhat social. I need to sort my collar out, but my gym session was all done. I went and I felt quite weak yet again. I did my upper body session today, and I just think that I might be just quite fatigued at the moment. I've not had a deload since the start of March, so it feels like there's a little bit of fatigue within there. And I did a little bit of posing at the end of the session, like had a look at how things are looking. And despite weight not really moving too much, I can see that like there are veins appearing that weren't there last week. So it is encouraging because I do know that I am losing body fat without a doubt, and like with the calories that I'm on, I'm just gonna have to be doing so. And I am happy with how I'm looking as well, like as I say, the veins coming through. And one thing with getting leaner as well is like you actually end up looking a little bit bigger, even though you do feel smaller. Once you do get quite lean, you actually look bigger than you did, because like your weight comes in more but like your muscles stay the same size, so you do look a little bit bigger. And now I'm actually on the way to Asda because I need to go and get my squares bars for my trip. I'm all dressed up for going to Erin's Wings Day, but also later we're actually going out for dinner as well. So that's going to be, this is pretty much the end of the vlog. But with going out for dinner, I've already gone, today I've got more foods to play with. I've already gone and like pre-tracked all my food, because whenever you are going out somewhere and you're on a diet, always look ahead. So like I know exactly where I'm going to be eating. I've eaten there before, so I roughly know like what the portion sizes are. And I've basically like roughly tracked based around it. I'm also going for a Turkish meal, which is literally like one of the best options that you can go for when you are dieting, because realistically it's just like protein, veg and a little bit of carbs. And I'm also having more food today as well. I'm going to use like a few different tactics. Like there's so many little tools that you can use here and there. I'm probably going to have like an hour before I go, I'm probably just going to have something small like a rice cake or something like that, so that I'm not too overly hungry when I'm there. And as I say, like it will be a case that I'm having more food today, so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a day more towards sort of like maintenance than anything else, and looking forward to eating a little bit more, and also really looking forward to having a date, because the date is not only a celebration for Erin's Wings Day, but also for her birthday as well. So I'm excited to take her out and have a nice dinner with her. But as I say, that is the end of the vlog. Tomorrow and the next day, I'm just going to be sticking to things like I normally would do. And that is what a typical week of cutting looks like. As I say, it's literally just a case of like ticking the boxes every single day, doing the basics, doing them well, and just doing them consistently. But hopefully you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. If you're still watching up to this point, follow me on Instagram via the link in the description, and like and subscribe, and adios. And that's the way I go. Wow.
Right, I've got it. They're not doing it.
They can't smile. Like. No?